Hello, children. A very warm welcome to the virtual session again. So, let us continue with the revision of chapter Force and Pressure. Revision 2. Let us see what are we going to do today. We will see effects of force, which we have already done. You need not write, just go through the video. It is just to reinforce concepts. Please have a revision for this. Recap, recall, and reinforce. Please go through the video. Effects of force on an object. What are the effects? What a force can do to an object? We will learn now. Force can make an object to move from rest. Do you agree? Yes. Force can stop a moving object. Yes. Like for example, um, you have you need to move a trolley. So you apply a force. So from rest, a trolley will move, and then you want to stop the trolley, you apply a force, moving trolley will stop moving. That means you can bring a change in the motion of an object. That means you can bring it to rest. So force can stop a moving object. Force can change the speed of an object if it is moving. Like you apply a force, you can change the speed. A very good example you can change the speed of the car. Okay. So force can change the direction of motion of an object. You are driving a car, you can change the direction. That's why you can reach to school. Car can change the direction by application of the force. You want to go to right, you will take the direction to right. You want to go to left, you change the direction accordingly as per your need. So you have to apply force for this. So force can change the direction. Force can change the shape of an object. A very simple example here you can see over here. While making chapatis, you can change the shape as per your need. You can make a round shape chapati or what all, rectangular and all. So a force is applied to change the shape. A force may cause one or more of these effects. So it is not necessarily that force, one type of force will act at one time. The effect can be more than one at a time. Clear, children? So let us, you can see the pictures over here of the effect of force. Then this diagrammatic representation, you can have it in your notebook. Effect of force, you can write down points in the circles, and you can have a chart like this for you to understand the effect of force very clearly. So either you can have point wise or you can have a chart like this in your notebook. Now exploring force, we will see more aspect of force, different aspects. Force can change the state of motion of an object. Let us see. We will have to study this in little detail. Okay. So the motion of an object is said to be in motion if it is moving by certain speed in a particular direction. This you all know. If the object is at rest, it means that it is not changing its position with respect to an observing point. Here it has zero speed. That means a car standing still, uh, relative to you when you are observing it, it has a zero speed. When the object start moving, it means that its position being changed. Then a car at rest start moving, that means it is changing its position with respect to you. You are at the observing point, so it will change the position according to you. For the other person standing somewhere else, the change of position will be different. So you are at the, suppose you are at an observation point, one point, with reference to you, the position will change accordingly. In order to move an object from one place to another, a force is required to bring that object in motion. So in order to move an object from one place to another, definitely a force is required. Suppose you want to shift some of your books to another room, then you need a force to move that books to the other room. So you put it in one box, all your books, and then you need to push that box to the other room. So a force is needed there. Okay. Then not only this, force applied to an object can change its speed, bring it to rest, or even change the direction of its motion. So it will not only change its speed, it will bring to rest or even change the direction. So it's up to you whether you are taking a direction right, left, or what all. North south directions. It may bring a combination of this effect as well as a change in direction of motion and change in the speed of the motion altogether. So it may bring all combination also. The effect can be a combination of all these, change in the direction, change in the speed. Okay, it can be a combination. Hence we can say that force can change the state of motion of an object. So a state of motion can be changed with the help of a force. We have two state of an object: at rest. An object can be at rest or can be in motion. So force can bring a change in motion as well as in a state of rest as well. Any object cannot move by itself. Any non-living object cannot move by itself or change its state of motion. Your notebook kept on the table will not move on its own unless you apply some force to move it. This is what that point means. Okay. However, it is not a case that this change of state of motion will take place every time with every kind of force. Like every kind of force, this change will not happen. There are some exceptional cases. Here we have one. Person try to push a very heavy object such as wall. This example of a wall you're pushing, it will not move at all. So such example where normally nobody will try to move a wall, but just an example to give, because since we have learned so many effects of the other perspective of force, we need to take such cases where force will not act, because even if you're trying to push a wall, it will not move. So not necessarily force will definitely bring a change in shape, size, motion, rest, and all that. It will always bring. Wall is at rest, we will not cannot bring in motion because the wall is fixed and your force is not enough to move that wall. The shape of an object can be altered if some force is applied to it, depending upon the magnitude of the force that is being applied. So chapati making, you need to apply a gentle force. This means that you can bring a change in the shape of the chapati. If you apply too much of force, you will spoil the shape of the chapati. It will not be circular. You can try yourself, children, in the kitchen, and it depends on the rigidity of the object. Your chapati you can easily make because the wheat flour which you are using very soft. It's not rigid at all. But if you take maida, when during Diwali, when you make all eatables, all goodies at home, all that you prepare with maida, and you see you need to apply more force to make chapatis, and then you have to make all different eatables with that chapati. So when you use maida, you will see the stiffness, it is not as soft as the wheat flour. So here the rigidity of maida is more than wheat flour. Wheat flour you can gently move and make chapatis, but with maida you need to apply little more force. So it depends upon the rigidity of the object, and the effects on the shape and size can be observed accordingly. So the simple example of maida and wheat flour I gave you. In your kitchen you can check, children. Then force can change the shape of an object. These are some examples here. Stretching a rubber band easily, pressing a sponge, bring a change in the shape, squeeze of spring, bring a change. Then see how the change you can bring. You can bring a change in the shape of an object by applying some force. Types of forces which you have learned: frictional force, gravity, applied force, that is muscular force, drag force, buoyant force, that is the upthrust force in the air, which you have learned in water as well, tension force, magnetic force, spring force. All these, every activity in a day-to-day life, we use different type of forces. So here you have some examples. Then we have learned two type of forces: contact forces and non-contact forces. I hope you all have taken down this in your notebook when I have discussed in my previous session. If not, then you will make this table again. Make this table now. You need not repeat any points in your notebook. Need not write anything again. If it is there in the notebook, please do not write. Just go through this video and have a recap of the sessions which we have had already. So now types of forces, here we have learned contact and non-contact forces. On the basis of the nature of the interaction between two or more objects, you all know To for force to come into play, um, objects, two or more objects, need to have some kind of interaction. So the interaction can be of two types: contact and non-contact interactions. Let us see. Contact interaction, as the name suggests, this kind of force is applied only when two or more objects come in contact with each other. That is called as contact forces, as the name suggests. They are coming in contact. Like example, muscular force. A wrestler lifting heavy weight, muscular force, because and the wrestler has to come in contact with the weight, with a heavy weight which he or she is lifting. Frictional force, there on the road, the tire of the car coming in contact with the friction of the road, that is a contact force. And non-contact forces, here you have which when the object do not come in contact with each other but yet they exert force. There are some forces existing in nature where the objects are not in contact, then too they yet they exert some pressure, forces on each other. What that kind of forces are called as non-contact forces. For example, here you have magnetic force, gravitational force, electrostatic force. This force is where the objects are not coming in contact, then too this force, non-contact force, exists. We will see this in detail. We have already done in detail. We are going to have a revision of all these in our upcoming sessions. Let us see what are we going to finish today now. Contact forces. So muscular force is a contact force. Force that come into play because of the action of muscles is called muscular force. For example, human being, we all use muscular force in order to walk. Muscular force is used in day-to-day life. Many activities, you pick up things, you lift things, you carry your bags on your shoulder. So many things you do day-to-day activity, you use muscular force, and you have to come in contact. You are in the interaction with the object. The expansion and contraction of lungs is because of muscular force. Yes, there's all your organ working on some muscular force. They are working. Okay, that's why we are living. Movement of food along the food pipe. Food has to move down, no, the food pipe. Then it has to go through all the various organs in your body for digestion. So this is muscular force. Animal can also exhibit muscular forces. That's why they can move from one place to another. So while walking, while running, while catching the prey and all that, they require muscular force. Here you can see muscular force applied by animals. Here, uh, a big heavy load on their back on the cart, and they have to pull the cart. For pulling the cart with a heavy load, they require lots of muscular force. And these and buffaloes and cows, they have lots of muscular force. And you can see a tug of war. You have to apply muscular force to win the race. So this tug of war, again you can see muscular force is applied on both the side. Here some more pictures of muscular forces. You're cycling, uh, jumping, jumping over the hurdles. Then you can see horses carrying that cart, uh, then camel carrying that heavy load. So all that, though they have wheels, but then the animals all need to apply lots of force to move these loads ahead, move this load to push them. So this is all where you see these activities require muscular forces. Frictional force, extremely important, should be is there in the nature everywhere. Even air has frictional force. Without the frictional force, the object in motion will remain in motion. Things would have been totally different on earth if frictional force is not there. Everywhere frictional force has to work, otherwise things in motion will remain in motion, absolutely impossible to stop them. So this force is extremely important. It is the force that is exerted by the surface over an object whenever the object moves on the surface. Force of friction has the following characteristics. So the force of friction always acts in the opposite direction of the motion. It is acting in opposite direction naturally because it has to act, otherwise the object will not stop. It has to act opposite to the motion. The object is in motion. Suppose our object is moving in one direction, force of friction will go in the opposite direction. Here you will see force of friction acting on a moving object. So this is the force which is going to stop an object. Even if you apply a brake and there's no friction, now it's a very slippery roads. You can see frictions become very less during rainy season. There's high chances of accidents on the road because the force of frictions becomes less. The force of friction, because the road becomes more slippery because of water. So friction is not acting there. Then you have to be very careful during rainy season. So friction is going to work over there to stop the moving car or stop any moving vehicle. Even if you have brake to apply, if friction is not working, if it is slippery, then it becomes very difficult, high chances of accidents. So you can see an object pushing ahead and friction going in the opposite direction. The motion, you can see the direction of motion, and you can see the force of friction acting in the opposite direction. So what will happen to when you have frictional forces? It will lead to the generation of heat as two surfaces come in contact with each other. For example, when we rub our hands, you can see heat is produced as a result of friction between our hands. A very simple example. I hope you have all these points in your notebook, children. Frictional force also lead to wear and tear of the surfaces of objects. So wearing and tearing of the, because of you see, you need to have a regular a proper replacement of the tires of the vehicles, of the cars and all, and you get a good quality of tires nowadays because it is coming in contact with the road and all that, uneven roads, those roads where the tires get spoiled, so you need to replace it because of too much of friction or too much of roughness of the road. Tire gets spoiled easily and you need to replace it on a regular basis, and you have to see check for the tire. Over here example of the shoe given, sole of the shoes often get worn out due to friction that acts between them and the ground as we walk. So this force of friction is going to act on the sole of the shoes, and because of that it get worn out after some time. A ball rolling on ground gradually slow down. Why? Because it comes to rest due to force of friction. Otherwise, you are playing a football and there's no friction. Ball will just go somewhere. We will not able to trace it. If we stop pedaling a bicycle, it gradually slow down and come to stop due to force of friction. So you can see how the bicycle will stop because gradually, because the force of friction gradually will act and the tire will come to a halt. Air resistance, because there is a friction in the air. Whenever an object moves or flies in the air, it experiences a force. This is called air resistance. In air, we call it air resistance. Air is going to stop the moving object, will try to give a opposite force. So the air resistance acting against the motion, you can see over here, air resistance experienced by airplane and gravity acting downwards. So air resistance also given to the objects in the air. This we have done. This is just a revision session, children. You just go through the video. Thank you, children. In our next session, we are going to do non-contact forces and we will see all various types. We will have a quick revision on all those types of forces. I hope now the concepts are clear. Points are there in your notebook, children. You need not write it again. Thank you once again and have a wonderful day.